everyone, welcome back to Tammy's Yarn House, and today's tutorial is how to make this wonderful summer shawl. This thing is so lightweight and so lacy, and it really is a very easy stitch to do. It looks a little difficult, but it is a one row repeat. Now, I have tried to do this tutorial in this fingering weight, and I just cannot get it to focus right so that you guys can really see what you're doing. So what I have decided to do is to do the tutorial in a heavier weight with a smaller gauge, and that way the stitches will really kind of pop out so you can see what you're doing. But this calls for a fingering weight. I used, you could tell from my trip to Hobby Lobby clearance, I got took advantage of that. This is Yarn B, and if you could see, it is a one weight and calls for a 3mm hook or a C, whichever you prefer to use. And I only used one hank of this for this shawl or scarf. This was the color of Frosted Galaxy. I couldn't find another one. I wish they had another one. I'd have got all of it, because this is just a beautiful, beautiful color. But this is what I used. All right, that's what you will need. You will need skein or hank of yarn. You will need your hook, pair of scissors, and you will need a yarn needle or tapestry needle to weave in your ends at the end. Okay, as I said, we are going to use a heavier yarn. This is a size 2. Okay, we are going to start off by chaining 6. This pattern uses quad trebles, chains, and single crochets. Those are the 3 stitches that is involved in making this pattern. And like I said, it is a one row repeat, and I'll show you that. What we're going to do to begin with is we're going to make the bottom part of our V, and then you build your rows on top of that. So this is the very bottom V of our shawl. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What a quad treble is you yarn over 3 times. We're going to go into that beginning chain. Come on, get in there. And you should have 5 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 for 1. Yarn over and pull through 2 for 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 for the 3rd time, and yarn over and pull through the final 2 for the 4th time, hence the word quad treble. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to go back into this beginning chain, and we're going to work 2 quad trebles. So that's yarn over 3 times. Go back into this beginning chain. And it can be a little fiddly. Yarn over 2, yarn over 2, yarn over 2, and yarn over 2. We're going to do that one more time. Into that beginning chain. 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for the 3rd time. We're left with 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2 for the 4th time. Now this right here, this is what our stitch is going to look like. We're going to make a bunch of these. This is the beginning of the V for our shawl. That's what this is. And we're going to just build. We are going to build one on each side. So for every row, we are going to increase one of these at the beginning and at the end. And that's how you're going to build. You build at the beginning and at the end. Okay, let's do row 2. You're always going to chain up 6. Every time you start a new row, you chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn our work. At the base of this, we are always going to work a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble, all in this stitch at the base of your turning chain. We're going to do a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. Okay, let's start our first quad treble, chain through 2, chain through 2, chain through 2, chain through 2, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to do a quad treble back into this stitch at the base of that turning chain. Always. There are a few constants in this pattern that will help you. No matter how intricate it looks, there are a few constants that if you remember those, it will always help you. And here's another one. This chain. When you come to a chain, you will always do a single crochet around that chain. Always. That's all you do. We're going to put a single crochet around this chain. Another constant, when you come to the end of your row, at the top of that turning chain, the top of that chain, you will always work a quad treble, chain 6, and 2 quad trebles. That's the combination you will always work in the top of that chain. Because remember, we increased a chain over here, we have to increase a chain at the end, or, you know, our scarf is just going to kind of go lopsided. Not going to look right. All right, so let's do our first quad treble into the top of that chain. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. I think I'm stuck. Yeah, I'm stuck on that right there. Pull through 2, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to do 2 more quad trebles into that same chain. 1 more. And I'll lay it down and I'll show y'all what we've got. Okay. This is what we're always going to have. You're always going to have what's 2 stitches on the outside. 2 stitches on the outside. And you're going to have these chain in between. Okay? Let's do row 3. We will always chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn our work. Another constant in the very first stitch at the bottom of this turning chain, we will always work a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. Here's our first quad treble. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2 for the 4th time, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to do another quad treble into that same space. And what that did is that we just increased a stitch. We just made a stitch. Okay? Now we have a chain. What we always do around a chain is a single crochet. And you're going to alternate this. You'll see it in just a second. Around a chain, single crochet only. Now, here what we have come to is the single crochet from the chain below. Always in this single crochet, we are going to put a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. In every single crochet, that's what we work in there. A quad treble. There we go. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And our second quad treble. All in that single crochet. Well, Tammy. Now we come to the chain again. And remember, when we come to a chain, we always single crochet around it, and that's all we do. Now we're at the end. Another constant is at the top of this chain. In the top of that chain, we're going to work a quad treble, chain 6, and 2 quad trebles. You see we've got 2 down here, 2 right here. We need to make sure that we end with 2 up here. So let's do our first quad treble. We're going to work it all into the top of that chain. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through our final 2, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do 2 quad trebles, and that is going to end our row. That's how you end your row. 2 quad trebles. Okay, take a look at what we've got here. Looks like we've got 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, and it looks like we have 2 stitches in the middle, but really it's because we single crocheted around that chain space. You see that? Let's do another row. Always start another row with a chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn your work. Always begin with a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble in the stitch at the base of this turning chain. Okay, so let's do our first quad treble. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And our second quad treble into that same stitch. Okay. Now here's where something about that doesn't look right. Let me take that apart. Something about that doesn't look right. You know, when something doesn't look right, you need to, don't keep going. You want to, but you know, can't keep going because it's going to bite you in the end. All right, let's do that quad treble again. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yeah, that looks a lot better this time. Okay. Here's where we're going to alternate. Okay, let me lay this down so you can see this. So every time you see a chain, you're going to single crochet around that. Every single time you come to a single crochet from where you single crochet from the row below, you're going to do a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. Then you're going to do a single crochet. Then you're going to come to another single crochet from the row below, and this is a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. See how you're alternating? Single crochet. Got your cluster of quad trebles and 6 chains. Single crochet. Quad treble, chain 6, single crochet, or, quad treble. Then a single crochet. Let me do this with you. Okay. We come across the chain. We're going to single crochet around that. Now here comes our single crochet. So we're going to quad treble, chain 6, and quad treble into that single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quad treble. Now we come to a chain. Single crochet around the chain. What's next is the single crochet from the row below. We're going to put quad treble, chain 6, and quad treble into that single crochet from the row below. So here's our first quad treble. I know it's a mouthful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back in here. Come on. Sometimes it can get a little fiddly because it twists on your, it'll twist on your hook. See that? It'll twist. You gotta try to keep it. See? 2 and 2. We have a chain, so that means we single crochet around it. Now we're at the end. And at the end, in the top of that stitch from your chain, you're going to put a quad treble, chain 6, and 2 quad trebles. That's how you're going to end your rows always. So let's do our first quad treble into the top of this turning chain. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Make sure we get it all. There we go. Pull through 2, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do 2 quad trebles. And it's all going to be in the top of that chain. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Here we go. All right, let's lay this out so you can look at it. Okay. We're building on each side. Okay, so when you chain, when you start your row, you're always going to put a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble into the bottom of that turning chain. Then the next thing we met was our chain. Always put a single crochet there. You see that? The next thing we met was the single crochet. Always going to put a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble into that single crochet. The next thing we saw was the chain, single crochet. The next thing, you see how it alternates? We come across the next was a single crochet. What do we put into the single crochet? You got it. A quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. And that's what you do, and that's how you build your rows. All right, let's do one more row together. We always chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn our work. Remember our constants? We're always going to put a quad treble, chain 6, and quad treble into the base of that chain. Quad treble is 3 loops on your hook. Pull through 2 for 1, pull through 2 for 2, pull through 2 for 3, finally pull through 2 for 4, which is why it's called a quad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And another quad treble. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, remember our constants? Right here. Single crochet around that chain. That's what we do. Now we've got this single crochet from below. Our constant here is a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble in the single crochets from the row below. Chain 6, and the second quad treble all into that single crochet from the row below. And we're alternating. Now we come to a chain and we're going to single crochet around that chain. And we're back to the single crochet from the row below. And we're going to work a quad treble, chain 6, and quad treble into those single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a quad treble all into that single crochet. Oh, come on. Come on, Tammy, get it together. There we go. Chain, single crochet, quad, chain 6, quad, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Met with a chain, so we do a single crochet. Always on your constant at the end, in the top of this chain, we are going to do a quad treble, chain 6, and 2 quad trebles. So let's get our first one going here, all into the top of that chain. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Quad treble. This is us building another stitch at the end so we can be symmetrical. So we're not building more on one side than we are on the other, and then, you know, our V looks a little drunk. We don't want to do that. All right. So here's how we're looking. Always have 2 stitches on the outside. Looks like we have 2 stitches in the middle, but it's really because we put that single crochet around those chains. So when you begin your row, at the base of that turning chain, you are always going to put a quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. We're going to single crochet around that chain, and then in that single crochet we put always quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. So you have this alternating. So in this top row, we're going to keep building. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build up a few more rows for y'all, and then I'll show you how to put that little picot border on. Okay, I'm going to do one more row here with you because this can get a little fiddly, and then I'll meet you back for the border. Okay, let's do one more row together. Why not? I mean, we're here, right? Why not? Always chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you think you got the hang of it, you can go ahead and skip ahead for the border. Quad treble, chain 6, quad treble in the base of this turning chain. Always. And it loves to curl up. So you just got to be careful. Single crochet around the chain. We're met with a single crochet from the row before. Quad. Chain 6. And our second quad into that single crochet. Met with a chain, single crochet. Met with a single crochet, quad, chain 6, and our second quad into that single crochet. And we're going to alternate. That's how you know what to do. Met with a single crochet. You got it. Quad treble, chain 6, and a quad treble. Single crochet around those chains. We're just alternating back and forth. Single crochet into that, quad treble, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our second quad treble. Single crochet around this chain, and always in the end, in the top of that, a quad treble, chain 6, and 2 quad trebles. That's how we build. Whoop. Slip that right off of there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry if y'all can hear my dog barking downstairs. The air conditioning must have popped on, because he sure will bark at thin air. Alright. And let's take a look. Take a look at what we got. That is how we're building. Alright, so if you just remember your constants, and you're alternating what looks like a really difficult stitch to do really turns into a 1 row repeat and this works up fast, very, very fast. So, all right, I'm going to do a couple more rows and then I'm going to show you what to do with this little picot border, okay? So y'all go ahead and do your project and I'll meet you at the border. Okay, now I didn't do a whole bunch of rows. I just did a couple of more. But when you want to do your border, you only want to put your border on the outside of your V. You don't want to put the border along the long part of it because this is what goes around your neck. So you only need the decorative edging around the outside of your V. And so when you're done making, you know, a row, you can start up here, and this is a standard picot border, okay? Just a standard picot border. And what that is you're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the third chain from the hook, you're going to go in here and you're going to single crochet and chain 2. That's your standard picot. Into these outer stitches, go around that and make a single crochet. That's the base of your picot right there, is a single crochet. Chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the base of this, or not in the base, Tammy, come on. In the third chain from the hook, single crochet, chain 2. 1, 2. Skip on over to your next outside stitch, single crochet around that. See how that's starting to have a little chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third chain from the hook. You're going to go in there and make a single crochet. Chain 2. 1, 2. Skip on over to the next outside chain stitch. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, third chain from the hook. Go in here, make a single crochet, chain 2. 1, 2. Skip on down. Do this on the outsides of your work and meet me right here. Meet me at the V and I'll show you what to do. Okay, here we are. We've got one more stitch to do. So we're going to single crochet around that. Chain up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet. Chain 2. 1, 2. And we're not going to skip over to this next stitch. We're going to go into that V. We're going to go into that peak right there. And we're going to put a picot in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of like when you put a border on a blanket and you get to a corner. You want to, that corner deserves its own stitching. Okay. We're going to go back into that peak. Single crochet. So that way the peak of our has its own little picot stitch all to itself. Chain 5. Third chain from the hook. Single crochet. Chain 2. 1, 2. Now we can go to our first over here and anchor this down. See how we did that? So that way, oh, come on, let's get straight. So we did our little picots along the side. This deserves its own little picot. And this is a project that needs to be blocked. In order to get the full effect, this needs to be blocked. And I'll tell you, this yarn, this really lightweight, #1 weight yarn is so lightweight. It kept drying before I could finish blocking it. I had to have a spray bottle with water so that I could finish blocking it because it was drying so fast. So, but it really needs to be blocked to get this really open lace look to it. And you want to put your pins at the base of these little picots so that it can really stretch out, and you can get, that's what you're going to look like right there. It's a beautiful lacy pattern. It's wonderful. Works up fast. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel and set your notification bell so that you'll be notified when I put out new videos. And you can also find me on Facebook at Tammy's Yarn House. If you make this, I would really love to see your project. So find me on Facebook or Instagram at the same name and show me your picture. I'd love to see it. I hope you guys have as much fun doing your project as I did doing mine. Thank you.